So you bought a brand new Nintendo Switch Lite, and your next question is, what stuff should I grab to make sure I get the most out of my system? Well, let's take a look at some important accessories to grab for the Switch Lite. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is actually a little bit outside of what normally people think about for Switch Lite stuff, and that has to do with when you need to use it in some kind of tabletop mode. Because by default, the Switch Lite does not support tabletop as Nintendo envisions it at least, and it definitely does not support docked. But even then, if this is your only Nintendo Switch console, there's a good chance that there's going to be some specific game where you really wish you could use a traditional controller instead of using the onboard controls of the Switch Lite. So to do that, there's two things you need. A stand to actually support putting it on your table, since you can't actually use a kickstand on the system itself, and a controller to use with it. Now, on the stand side of things, there are a lot of different just traditional tablet stands, some that are themed for Nintendo Switch specifically, like this one right here, that are a great way just to have it set up on a table. Nintendo does also have an official charge stand they've released that is just a basic design for the Switch Lite to prop it up on a table and charge it at the same time. Now, as for wireless controllers, there are so many videos out there on the internet talking about what the best controller for the Switch is. I'm not going to go over all the choices there are, but three mainstays that I really enjoy that I talk about pretty often are the official Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which is just a really good, well-balanced all-around choice. The SN30 Pro Plus from 8BitDo, which offers a lot of special features and functions that aren't featured on many other third-party controllers for the Switch. It's a really good one for its price as well. And finally, PowerA's wireless GameCube controller, which is an awesome choice if you really like playing Smash Brothers and you don't want to deal with any kind of cable setup. Now, this is all great if there's a wireless controller you want to use, but what about wired controllers? What if you want to use something that's a little cheaper, or you want to even use an old school GameCube controller? Well, thankfully, the Switch Lite at the end of the day is still just a Switch. It just doesn't have a regular official dock you can use with it. But if you use a third-party charging dock, like say from Hori, they actually have designs that feature USB ports that will work with the Switch Lite to use wired controllers. Now, Hori has announced a new version of this stand that is a lot smaller and designed for the Switch Lite in mind, and that's a really cool portable choice, but one of the trade-offs with it is that it only has one USB port on each side. Now, that's really good if there's just a specific USB controller you want to use, but a unique benefit with this design is you can actually take it and use it with the GameCube adapter for the Switch, and this will allow you to use regular GameCube controllers with the Switch Lite. So if the Switch Lite is your only system and you really want to play some Smash Brothers with an old-fashioned GameCube controller on the go, this is a way you can accomplish that. Again, this is not necessarily the default way you want to play Switch Lite all the time. The main focus of the system is to be a portable handheld, but for those situations where you just really want to play something tabletop-wise and you want to make use of a regular controller, this is going to be one of the better ways to achieve that. Now, when you do want to play in handheld mode, a big thing to address is comfort, because much like the regular Switch, the Switch Lite is just not the most ergonomically designed controller out there. You can play on it for a while, but your hands are going to start cramping. So a really popular solution for both the regular Switch and now the Switch Lite are grips. Now, there are a number of different companies out there that make popular grip designs. One of the most well-known is the Satisfye grip for the Switch, and they do have, as you can see here, a design made for the Switch Lite. Now, this is based on the newer design Satisfye grip, which has a couple changes from the original one. It now has these rubber tips on all the inside, so it's actually making sure the system isn't directly connecting to all the hard plastic. It's going to give it a little breathing room, which is both important for heat management and to make sure you don't accidentally scuff up the system every time you put it in and take it out of the grip. It also has not quite as exaggerated of a right-hand grip as the old style did, which makes it a really nice midpoint for both games that make use of both sticks or games that require you using the ABXY buttons a lot. There is a huge difference in comfort between using a grip like this or using the Switch Lite in handheld. Again, you can play that way and it's fine, but if you really want to make sure your hands are as comfortable for as long as possible when you're playing for hours and hours on end, something like this is a must. I do want to throw out there, by the way, that one of the top competitors to Satisfye, Skull & Co, does have a grip in development as well. I haven't had a chance to use that one hands-on yet, and I will plan to compare those down the line, but for now, the Satisfye grip is definitely a great choice. By the way, if you're wondering about the shirt that I'm wearing in today's video, this is actually an original that we are selling that was designed by Digital Addict. We have a link down below the description to his Instagram page if you want to check out his other works, as well as a link to check out and buying the shirt. And if you decide you like it and you want to buy it, make sure to use this coupon code to get 15% off. Now, an accessory that's always been important for the Nintendo Switch, but I think is especially even more so for the Switch Lite, is a carrying case. Given the fact the system is meant to be portable at all times, you need a good way to keep it protected, as well as keep everything together that you want access to, whether that's additional physical games, a charger, all that kind of good stuff. Now, if you do happen to grab the Satisfye grip that I showed off earlier, there are cases that's designed to come with as well that will fit the Satisfye and the Switch at the same time. If you're not interested in that though, and you want a more traditional case just for your Switch Lite in games, there are a lot of different options out there. And two that I've gotten a lot of hands-on time with that I like are from Hori and Hyperkin. Both of them do a great job of giving a way to store and keep your Switch nice and safe. The Hyperkin is a little thicker, so it's easier to put things like chargers or some bigger accessories into the little pouch side of it, while the Hori does have more slots for game carts, and I do really like the way the interior design is shaped to actually fit the Switch Lite. Something I really like that both of them have done as well is color coding their cases to match the different Switch Lite colors. The Hori one comes in a blue like this, as well as a yellow and a very dark gray, while the Hyperkin, they have a white and yellow trim, white and blue like this, and a black and gray option. Another one I want to point out real quick that sadly we do not have access to right now in the US is the official Nintendo Folio case for the Switch Lite. It's a design they've made that's very small and lightweight, and the main purpose of it is to give you a way to protect your Switch Lite on the go, but it keeps it a very small form factor still. It's not designed to carry cables or games or anything like that, it's just for the Switch on its own. Sadly though, as for right now, it's only available in Japan, the UK, and Australia. Now, comparing the Switch Lite to the regular Switch, one of the areas that I did find it fell a little behind in is audio quality. They actually sound very much the same when you're right up to the speaker, but the Switch Lite has the speakers firing down. In a quiet place, this ends up working out pretty much the same, but if you're in any kind of area where there's ambient noise that can get in the way, you can lose audio a little bit. And a really good solution to that is a headset. While the Switch Lite has lost the ability to dock up to a TV, you can actually still use USB-C audio adapters to make use of wireless headsets. A recent example that has been really awesome for the Switch specifically is the Arctis one from SteelSeries. Now, they've made a couple different headsets in the past that can work with Switch, but it's always worked with different kind of additional adapters. You might have to use it with the Switch dock. They've now made one that uses a USB-C adapter that is a lot more low profile. This is extremely easy to use. You just plug it into the bottom of your Switch, turn the headset on, and you're good to go. One of the additional upsides to this as well is that it does also support using a mic. You don't have to use a separate microphone or anything like that. So if you are playing any kind of competitive games on the Switch, like say Fortnite that use integrated chat, you can use that with this headset. It's certainly a little pricier than some of the wired options out there you can get, but for a wireless setup that is super easy to use on the Switch, as well as having good audio quality, this is an awesome pickup to grab. And it does work on other systems as well if you like. It's got adapters to use with the Switch dock on a regular Switch. You can also use it with PlayStation, plugged into an Xbox controller, PC. Really nice all-in-one solution. You know, something that really has become my main way of playing the Switch on the go is making use of a grip to make sure I have the most comfortable way of playing possible, combined with actually being able to use one of these wireless transmitters because it fits perfectly nicely in. So that gives me an awesome ability that makes the Switch Lite more comfortable and improves the sound quality on the go. This all combined with a battery bank solves really all of my biggest problems with the Switch Lite, turning it into the perfect way of playing Switch games on the go. Now, if this little adapter reminds you of something else we have talked about in the past is the Genki audio adapter. Now, this is not designed to use with a specific headset like the SteelSeries setup. This is so that you can use your favorite pair of Bluetooth wireless headphones with the Switch. Now, an important thing to keep in mind with this is the codec of the headset you're using. Some headsets are not going to have very low latency, so you'll notice a sound problem, but as long as you're using low latency Bluetooth headsets with this adapter, you have a fantastic experience. And I think the thing about it that I really enjoy the most is that it does work with AirPods, and while it isn't the absolute lowest latency, it's really close enough for the majority of times to not really matter and gives great sound quality. The SteelSeries headset is an amazing option if you want an all-in-one experience and you just want a headset that's going to work right out the gate, but if you already have a set of Bluetooth headphones you like that you want to use with your Switch and you don't care about having that microphone support, the Genki is still a great way to go. Another area where the Switch Lite falls a little shorter of the regular Switch is its battery life. It's still an improvement over the original launch Switch, but if you've grabbed one of the new refresh Switches, the battery life is considerably longer. And something that's helpful for really any of these is a battery bank. Now, there is a little bit of fear when it comes to charging solutions on the Switch because of the history of some third-party docks and chargers causing problems with Switches, even bricking them. But thankfully, as long as you stick to some of the more officially licensed products, you're usually safe. One of the best options I've used is the Anker battery bank. I've used this with all of my Switches and have had no issues to date. This is officially licensed and supported by Nintendo and has an output charge that is the same as the Nintendo Switch Power Brick. So it's designed to be read the same way for a Switch and is maximized for that. It does come in two different designs depending on how much battery power you need and how much you're willing to pay. This is the larger of the two, which is a lot of battery life, but if you want to save a little money, they got a smaller one as well. So this is just a look at some of the best accessories you can grab for the Switch Lite right now. Clearly the system has just come out, so there's going to be a lot more coming out in the coming days. So as we see more products come out, look forward to more reviews of awesome accessories to grab for your Switch Lite.